Hello my dear friends and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Joy and today in this lecture we will discuss about the emergency pension scheme in Madhya Pradesh. Let us first understand what is the current affair. The Madhya Pradesh government has recently put a hold on the pensions of those who have been detained during the emergency period. So this is the current affair, and based on this we will understand the emergency provision scheme, and based on this we will see what is the emergency pension scheme in Madhya Pradesh. Now let us briefly understand what is this emergency pension scheme in the state of Madhya Pradesh. During the national emergency, many persons were detained under the MISA Act and also the DIR. That is, MISA stands for Maintenance of Internal Security Act and DIR is Defense of India Rules. So many people in the state of Madhya Pradesh were detained during the emergency period under MISA, that is Maintenance of Internal Security Act, and also under the Defense of India Rules. This was in the year 1975 to 77, and this detention of the persons were based on political reasons or social reasons. And because of the detention of many persons in Madhya Pradesh, in 2008, Lok Nayak Jayaprakash Narayan Nidhi was found. Lok Nayak Jayaprakash Narayan Nidhi was formed. So the rules under Lok Nayak Jayaprakash Narayan Nidhi was framed in the year 2008 in the state of Madhya Pradesh. And under the scheme, individuals who had been detained or who were held in the police stations between June 25, 1975 to March 21st, 1977 for any political reason or for any social reason in Madhya Pradesh were eligible for the pensions. So it was according to the Lok Nayak Jayaprakash Narayan Nidhi, for which the rules were framed in 2008. Those people who were detained in the jails or held up in the police stations during this period of emergency was eligible for the emergency pensions in the state. And applicants were required to be domiciled in the state, and they had to submit a proof of having spent time in jail under the MISA, Maintenance of Internal Security Act, or under the DIR, that is Defense of India Rules. So if an applicant successfully submits evidence or proof for having spent time in the jail during the emergency, they were eligible for this emergency pension. And during the initial days, the government verified jail records and the police records in order to cross-check the claims when applicants were unable to produce proof of detention. So if any applicant, if they were not able to provide the proof of detention, the authorities, that the government authorities verified or cross-checked the applications of the applicants with that of the jail records or the police records. And subsequently, a change was made to this, an amendment was made. Applicants who were not able to provide the proof, they need to get two beneficiaries of the scheme to attest that he or she was in jail or in police custody at that time. So, two beneficiaries of the emergency pension scheme should attest that the applicant was also in the jail or in the police custody during this period of time. And this rules under the Lok Nayak Jayaprakash Narayan Nidhi was amended from time to time, and this was to increase the pension amount. So the pension amount was subsequently increased from time to time. And also over a period of time, anyone who was able to provide reasonable evidence of having spent even at least one day in jail during the emergency period, they were qualified for the pension. So through various amendments, the state government had liberalized the eligibility criteria for availing this emergency pension in the state of Madhya Pradesh. So this is the emergency pension scheme in brief. Now let us understand what were the modifications made to the emergency pension scheme. So we have seen that the origin of the scheme was in 2008. So in the year 2008, Lok Nayak Jayaprakash Narayan Nidhi rules were framed. And we have also learned that subsequently over the period of time, certain modifications were made to the 2008 rules. So according to the rules framed in 2008, those who spend at least 6 months or more in the jail would get rupees 6,000, and those who have spent lesser time will get half the amount, that is 3,000 rupees. So this was the eligibility criteria for availing the emergency pension in 2008. when the original rules were framed, this was the criteria for availing pension. A person must have spent at least 6 months in the jail in order to avail a pension of rupees 6,000, and if lesser time was spent in jail, the amount would be reduced to 3,000, that is half the amount. So this is the original rules under Jayaprakash Narayan Nidhi, which was framed in the year 2008. But in the year 2018, the then Madhya Pradesh government passed the Madhya Pradesh Lokatantra Senani Samman Abhiniyam, and this was framed in order to replace the rules in 2008. So this replaced the rules in 2008, and as per the 2018 modification, anyone who spent at least 1 month in the jail or more during the emergency is entitled to a monthly pension of rupees 25,000, and those who have spent lesser period, that is less than a month, will get pension of rupees 15,000. So in 2018 the rules were amended and the pension amount was increased, and also the eligibility criteria was liberalized. And along with this, the widows of men who detained during this period also got half the amount. That means 12,500 was given to a widow whose husband was detained during the emergency period for 1 month or above, or 7,500 for a widow whose husband was detained during the emergency for a period of less than 1 month. And while moving the legislation, the government had put the expenditure of the scheme at rupees 40 crore. Now, after the recent Madhya Pradesh elections, the new government is formed, and the new government has taken a different stand. Now, let us understand what is the stand taken by the present government in the state of Madhya Pradesh. So the current government, that is the newly elected government in the state of Madhya Pradesh, has put a hold to the modified scheme. We have seen in the year 2018, the scheme was modified in order to liberalize the eligibility conditions and also to increase the amount. So the new government has put a hold to the modified scheme. The government has not stopped the pensions altogether. And this is because the government wants to redesign the scheme and to carry out a physical verification of the beneficiaries. So the government want to cross-check with the police records and the jail records whether those who are availing the pension are the real beneficiaries or not. So this is to cross-check and also to modify the scheme. And also the government has argued that there were audit objections because money in excess of budgetary allocation was used every year. We have seen that 40 crore was the estimated amount, but more money was spent every year for meeting the expenses under the emergency pension scheme. And the government also argued that not every beneficiary of the scheme is genuine, and those who were detained for other crimes during the emergency are also benefiting the pension scheme. So it is basically the taxpayers' money, which is the public money. So the general public's money is put into a scheme where the beneficiaries are not genuine, or up to a certain extent the beneficiaries are not genuine. So this was the argument given by the government. So any person, in order to avail the pension scheme, he or she has to show a proof for detention or police custody during the period. So even those people who were detained for other crimes shows the record of detention or police custody and avails the pension scheme. And because the scheme is governed by law, the government cannot scrap it without going through a legal procedure. So what the government is trying to do is to streamline the process in such a way that genuine beneficiaries are not left out, and those who are not genuine will not avail the benefits of the scheme. So this is the change that the present government has brought into the scheme. You can find the PDF of this lecture on my Facebook page, and for any queries regarding your UPSC preparations, you can get in touch with me on my Facebook page, or you can email me at joyce.studiiq@gmail.com. Thank you.